Like many others, we're looking for something that will enable us to create sustained positive change in schools. We got together with a bunch of us who were coaches, and we thought, let's try coaching in schools to see if we can do something.
The context of our schools before the Dinaledi educational coaching program was, to me personally, it was a big concern.
Generally speaking, our schools are poverty-stricken. They serve the poorest of the poor.
And at school, always there were infighting with teachers and so on.
And so we do have our fair share of challenges. Teachers under enormous stresses and strains.
The deputy principal and the principal didn't see eye to eye.
And I was insecure personally and in my work. I felt at times like I was just a glorified secretary.
I experienced problems in terms of submission of question papers. People were not submitting marks on time.
We had difficulties, especially in terms of our planning, and the monitoring was a real problem.
One of my big problems is I couldn't delegate.
And there was a lot of infighting amongst the S&T.
We didn't have a lot of teamwork. In fact, teamwork was almost non-existent.
We started to come together as one because we have one common goal. The common goal is the child. What best can we do for the child? For me, that is the highlight.
We were asked to identify 4 schools. At all 4 schools, we had a situation where we had found a principal either inexperienced or acting and not getting the full cooperation of the school management team.
There are 4 operating principles in which we try to work. The first is that we work hand in hand with the education department. And so from the very beginning, we've co-created this with departmental officials. They helped us work out the logical design. They've co-designed the program with us. So it's a joint project between ourselves and the Department for Education. The second thing is we work in the worst schools, the most challenged schools, the schools that find themselves at the bottom of the pile. These are the schools where 20 years later still are working class schools, still exactly as they were before. The third thing is we work with the best coaches we can find in a sustained long-term way into schools, and they're willing to work in so-called dangerous areas. And finally, we do it with private sector funding.
One of the things that has really made a difference in my view with regards to our program is to be able to be a support to the educators.
That's coaching. Coaching is not mentoring. Coaching is not giving instructions or advice. Coaching is listening, talking, thinking together with the teacher.
Having us as coaches, and the privilege that I've had in working with some of them, is they've been able to really entrust me with their challenges that are very personal, very close to their hearts, that they sometimes haven't shared with anybody else.
The program has been assessed independently twice, and the report was resoundingly positive. Amongst other things, they found that within the school, the operation of the school went up a few notches, that there was better decision making, better relationships, more time on task. In general, the school became a more effective system. They recommended that the coaching, as enshrined in the DEC model, should be replicated as a capacity building tool right across other schools.
And we bring an opportunity for them to accelerate the process of learning and growing and developing.
Wow, we just started to work well together. And also, all of a sudden, as well, the SMT saw the need to work together, and all the infighting just went away and everybody started to work together. And still, in fact, up to today, that is still happening.
With the Dinaledi Educational Coaching Project, I found enormous empowerment.
Personally, it empowered me.
I liked the fact that we had to set our own goals.
We found that the learners also have more courage to speak up.
I think the Dinaledi Educational Program should be offered to most teams, circuit teams at the education department, as well as opened up to more school management teams to empower them to change their way of thinking and their way of managing their schools.
And every time you meet the coach, you explore what you need to do, you have a way of planning, and you monitor the progress of your planning. In such a way, one of the comment that was made at the principal was that if newly appointed principal can be involved in this program, I believe schools would improve a lot.
But after the coaching, I found that the teamwork was a lot better, and also the teamwork between the SMT and the staff members, because we had a better idea of how to approach and how to get to our goals without being top down.
When they could implement what they have learned from the Dinaledi Educational Coaching Project, the schools, the sky was the limit, and they topped our district matric results for that particular year. So it shows if you're given the opportunity to implement what you have learned,